This episode is brought to you by The Guarantors. Facing rising renter fraud? Don't let fraudulent applications compromise your financial stability. The Guarantors provide a safety net that protects your rent roll and minimizes bad debt. Why risk it? Talk to The Guarantors and secure your property's financial health. Visit theguarantors.com/multifamily today. Let's talk about chatbots for a second, and let's talk about it in the context of being a feature or a point solution and a platform. And my inspiration for this video is an interview that I saw between Digital Dudes and the BetterBot president, or the president of BetterBot. And we're talking about the transition from point solution to a platform, that is BetterBot becoming a point solution, or becoming a platform as opposed to a point solution. And the fact that at one point early on, BetterBot had made a decision not to go full LLM because it just wasn't ready. The market wasn't ready. But now that OpenAI or ChatGPT or other large learning language models, or large language models rather, are in place, it makes sense for this transition to become a platform as opposed to a point solution. So now it goes from lead nurturing all the way through renewals, potentially some alumni programs. That's me speculating. But the life cycle, resident life cycle, prospect journey, resident life cycle is now becoming a platform for BetterBot, or BetterBot is becoming a platform for the facilitation of those particular activities within those workflows, and which I think is a smart move. And definitely, to Robert Turnbull's point, BetterBot is probably more, there are two companies out there that are probably well positioned, in my opinion, in this sort of race to be a platform solution as opposed to a point solution. And what is interesting to me is that if an organization, so everybody has an AI or a bot that consumers use prompts to get information out of, right? And so all the major PMSs have similar solutions. Architecture might be a little bit different. Architecture might be old versus what these current day bots being built on. But at the end of the day, there is some version of this in all of the software, in the tech stacks that we use. There's some version of that, right? And so the big question in my head is that unless companies come along and they have some sort of, on an order of magnitude, a 10x different experience that yields a better than good, like it has to be an extraordinary return on the investment, given all the factors and variables involved in making a change from one solution to another, or adding on a solution versus one that you might still have the ability to access or to employ, but you're going to use this one anyway, a different one. In essence, you'd have two potential solutions within your stack because it's just there and it's available. But the bigger point that I'm getting to is, unless there's some on some order of magnitude that is in advance of 1%, 0.5%, in my head, there is no reason to make a change. It has to be an extraordinary result on the backside of all the change management that has to be employed, all of the sunk costs that go into that transition. It has to be a huge number. Otherwise, why would you do it? And maybe I'd say it in this case. If you're to forecast, who knows? I'm making this up, but who knows? Nobody knows the answer to this. But if you look back at the accelerating pace of LLMs in their ability to do things, and more advanced things and more complex things, that accelerating pace is only accelerating. It's getting faster and faster. And the big punchline here is, at some point, real soon, you're going to have the ability to do no-code creation internal to your organization. So you're going to have a platform. You're going to be able to show up one day with a blank canvas and all the tools along the top or down the side. And with no coding experience, you're going to be able to literally drag and drop particular applications or workflows that you need to have for a property management system, a lead capture system, CRM. I'm trying to think through the workflow as I'm saying this, but all the things that are all the tech that is in a workflow in order to accomplish the task that you need to do. And you're going to be able to do that. Just drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. The big key here will be the data, getting the data on the front end, extrapolating it out of current property management systems, setting it somewhere in a structured place or in a data lake that can later be structured, and then putting that to application or to use in your no code, right? In your drag and drop scenario. So the point is, at some point, you're going to be able to build your own thing. Real soon, you'll be able to build your own thing. And certainly companies of size, of mass, of scale will have every interest in building their own thing. And by the way, one of the retorts that a point solution or a platform might have is that it's very expensive, right? LLMs are very expensive when you put the training data in there and it's very, very, very expensive. But I just read a paper written by a former team member at OpenAI. The cost of that, right? The efficiency with which these LLMs learn and produce information it's coming down, right? It's just like the cost of a phone at some point was extraordinary. The cost of a chip was extraordinary. The cost of a computer was extraordinary. But there's a law. I can't remember the name of the law, but all that stuff comes down very quickly the more you get mass adoption. And the more the technology advances in terms of efficiency, costs come way down, and all of a sudden it's not expensive. The no code is there, which means you have the ability. The cost structure is such that it's well below what you probably pay on an annual basis to keep a legacy PMS system in place, and all the ancillary or even tertiary tech stack components, point solutions. It's far less. My gut tells me it will be far less. It'll at least be competitive. And bigger firms that have resources both on the human side, on the tech side, technical expertise side, will just build it. Let's build it. Or you're going to have a giant corporation, an Amazon, and this is not a novel thought, you're going to have a giant corporation that comes along that wants access to the consumer base, our residents, our prospects that want access to that. So they're going to start to offer really good PMS solutions or tech stack solutions related to real estate, because what they really are after is the consumer. They're really after the consumer. If they can give you free software, free ways to facilitate your real estate business and your asset management, they're going to do that. And it's going to be very attractive to you because it's going to be very good. But what you're going to give up for that is the end scenario of allowing those big corporations to have very direct access to your consumers through your data channels. They're also going to have access to that data to further enhance their offerings. So it's super interesting. I am really excited about watching the next, 24 to 36 months of this business play out. Today is June the 28th of 2024. The next 36 months, we get into 27-ish. Let's say NNA or NAA apartmentalized 2027. We're going to be talking about companies. There will be companies on stage talking about how they built their entire tech stack on no code, with no code, drag and drop solutions, and they have really slashed their cost, and they have completely pulled in complete control of their data by doing that. And that will be gold. Well, love to hear your thoughts. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.